Oh, that's good. We need lots of speed and cover. We need coverage with his size. He's able to. Hey, but he's not. And he played safety for high school, right?
Working together.
Yeah.
How we doing? Pretty good.
She is not going to be here. She's down.
She's down. Okay.
Yeah,
Russ was asking for it.
Yeah, no. She went down. She had a grandkid bring her some cough or some sneeze or whatever.
It transitions quickly.
Yes.
We're jamming in here real nice.
Okay. Who are we missing over here? Jake. Jake in the building.
Over here at the water jug.
Oh, there he is. And she's not going to be here.
Bernadette is not going to be here. That is correct.
Is this it? Everybody ready? Okay. We'll call to order the special joint meeting of the City Commission Utilities Commission. Please silence your cell phones, and if you would call the roll.
For City Commission, Mayor Owen.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hartman.
Here.
Commissioner McGurk.
Here.
Commissioner Sachs.
Here.
Commissioner Colodi.
He's here. I saw him.
Yes, I knew we were missing somebody.
He's
In the
not.
important room.
Commissioner, say here real quick, Commissioner Colodi. Say here. All right.
For Utilities Commission, Chairman Beidenbach.
Here.
Member Britz Parker absent. Member Davenport.
Here.
Member Griffith.
Here.
Member Holcomb.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited for this meeting. I thank you for, I think this was prompted by the Utilities Commission, but we certainly, this is something that the City Commission has been talking about and looking forward to. You know, as I looked back over the past couple of years as we were doing our strategic planning session, and every single year there's this talk, and it's one of the bullet points there, number 6. There's this talk about the city, U.S. And UC relationship, and so I think meetings like this are where we get to work through that, and I think we've got nothing but great things ahead of us. I'm excited about the new leadership at the UC and all that they're going to bring to the table. So with that, I just led a 2-hour meeting, so I'm going to be quiet. And I am going to, since most of the presentations are done by the UC, I'm going to let the chair of the UC Commission take over and run the meeting from here. I would just remind my colleagues, please, we're doing live streaming. The audio is a little bit touchy, so make sure you're speaking into the mic so that people can hear you. Don't be afraid to reach out and grab your neighbor's mic if there's not one in front of you, because the folks do want to hear what we're saying. So with that.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to introduce our new CEO, Mr. Joseph Bunch, and Mr. Bunch is going to really run the meeting, and I'm going to be quiet also. So,
the best meetings.
but he is going to go through several things we're going to talk about. We have 6 items on the agenda to speak about tonight. The property out on the other side of 95 that we address is the Utilities Western Complex, joint septic and sewer problems, water supply and sustainability, solar and distributive power, and that we can, when the city wants to put a new street in, if we're going to put a new sewer in, we want to put the sewer in before they put the street in, and then we'd like to make sure that we get along a little better with the city. Mr. Bunch, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mayor Owen, and thank you, Chairman Beatonball. So good evening, everybody. This is my first meeting with the City and Commission in a joint meeting, so appreciate you welcoming me here tonight. Insofar as the topics go, we've got some folks that are prepared to talk tonight. Some of it will be informational, and some of it I want to just get the discussion going about how we will begin to work together, and starting back to the point that Mayor Owen mentioned about building the improved relationship with the city, focusing our efforts on that going forward. So With that, the first topic is the Western Utility Complex property. I've been here a whopping 3 months now, so my history with this property is nowhere near, I'm sure, most of the folks in the room. But what we're committing to is a real deliberate approach to how we will use it going forward, and how we're looking at that now. And I'm going to invite Derek Wainscott, our Director of Engineering, up to talk about the effort that we're just starting and give you a chance to ask some questions of him. So Derek, let me turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Joe. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Derek Wainscott. I am the Director of Engineering for the Utilities Commission. What we have on the screen, do you guys have that up as well?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. What we have on the screen is a diagram that's used for master planning. And I've got a few exhibits that we'll go over. This diagram was used in several presentations that I made to the Utilities Commission over the course of the last 2 years. It's refined. It's basically a bubble diagram of what we're planning for the Western Utility Complex. And what it shows is 2 active projects. It's our substation expansion project and our wet weather storage pond expansion project. Our 2 site plans that are going through the process now with the city and through permitting through the Department of Environmental Protection. And then it also has 3 projects that may also be combined into 2 projects that we have recently hired Pond and Company, it's a company out of Jacksonville, to do our consulting services on. And that project is going to be the relocation of fleet services, which will get our fleet services off of the Swoop property, relocate them out to our Western Utility Complex. And it also includes a Field Street relocation, which is our field operations, which is our water resources department. You'll see the crews out and about, and they take care of the water pipes, the sewer pipes, and do the cleaning and whatnot, keep the system up to speed. And that is part of phase 1 for Pond and Company for the overall complex. Also part of phase 1 is what we're calling an optimization study for the entire property. That optimization study is going to, from the third party consultant, is going to tell us what's the best use for that property from a utility perspective. In that, the consultant is scheduled to put together a presentation by I think by August. And one of the other slides is a schedule, and we can get to that in a minute. I don't need it right now. The rezoning of the property, as we discovered during our site plan applications for the substation expansion and the wet weather pond expansion, was that there is some oddities with the zoning in that we were zoned for PUD. A few things fell through the cracks, and we're going to correct it now with this process. So we're going to come forward with an application for rezoning of the entire property once the optimization study is complete. And I believe that goes to City Commission, if I'm not mistaken. If you could go to the next slide, please. As part of the process and the planning, this slide shows Williamson Boulevard in a draft form. If you could scroll down, please. Thank you. This is where we are anticipating Williamson Boulevard eventually ending up. I have sent the centerline geometry to my colleagues at the County of Volusia, and they have verbally stated to me that this alignment would meet their needs for Williamson Boulevard's location. They have a few other hurdles south of 44 that they have to get through, but in essence, this is where we think Williamson Boulevard can go. And I wanted to bring that to your attention, is that we are planning on Williamson Boulevard going through that property on some level. And the next slide, please. Yeah, this is the Pond and Company schedule, and you can see there that the project overall is going to take several years. We are focusing the first phase on the rezoning and getting the applications in place through the city and the approvals on that. We're focusing on fleet maintenance. I believe that there are some, call it some grants that the city is relying on, so we need to get off the swoop. So we are focusing on fleet maintenance first, and then the second part of our project is going to be relocating field operations. And if you go to the next slide, please. Okay. If you go back to the first one and zoom in. Zoom in on those red bubbles, please, down at the bottom. Is that it? Okay, thank you.
You got some water.
So what we're looking at there is you can see where our existing substation is. You can see where our existing wet weather the pond is, and for reference sake, Walmart is the building there in the lower right-hand corner. So that is the gist of our Western Utility Complex as it stands right now, and I would be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Go ahead.
How you doing? Thank you for coming out today. I just had a quick question on when you showed the Williamson connection, where it came out on 44, it looks like it was west of the current road that runs along Walmart. Is that, it seemed to take a jog to the west. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay, and the county was good with that? They saw that? So at one point I heard, and I'm only bringing this up just to keep it fresh in everybody's head, at one point the thought was that it would come out at that intersection, and that would be, and then on the south side of 44, that's a road developer funded or something to that effect that would take it down towards Edgewater someday in theory. I just didn't know if that slight jog to the west had city staff, our city staff had a change. Colin, we've looked at that, we're good with that?
Yeah, we're very familiar with that. There have been numerous meetings with the county and the UC and the county and the city over the last 2 years. So the road that goes into Walmart's is really not a road.
I understand.
So yeah, there'll have to be a jog over to the west, basically. And the county has stated that they'll, at least my understanding is that they'll live with the UC in the sense of the agreement. There's no disagreement between the UC and the county on the right-of-way.
Okay, great.
And
Well,
FDOT.
well, I appreciate that, and I'm excited about where that's coming through and that's made some progress. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Out of this piece of land, how much is that wetlands? Do you know just approximately? It looks, to me, it looks over 50 or 60% is wetlands.
I don't know an exact number, Commissioner, but there are wetlands out there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
In your 3 areas that you got, or 4 areas you got marked in red, how much wetlands is within those areas?
I tried to carve around the wetlands to avoid impact. There's going to be some impact to the wetlands. The red areas on the right-hand side, there will be wetland impacts, and we've got a plan in place for conservation.
Are you going to do any on-site mitigation of those wetlands?
Yes.
Where would that be?
If you
Well,
can
it's probably not, it's premature, but the answer yes is the answer I wanted to hear.
it's not premature. We know where we have an existing conservation easement for wetland impacts that occurred when we built the wastewater reclamation facility. And we're just going to add to that conservation easement to keep it as big as possible.
Thank you. One further question on what you said before. When do you plan to come for rezoning?
We hope to have a presentation to the Utilities Commission from Pond and Company by August. Rezoning would shortly be there right after.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jake.
Bill, a few questions. As you know, I'm always concerned about our water quality. Is it a correct statement, Mr. Wainscott, that the approximately 800 acres is a Class 2 recharge area? Or is it a recharge area?
I've not known it to be a recharge area. I certainly wouldn't be able to answer the question about whether or not it's a class.
Is it possible that the coming of Williamson Boulevard will impinge on our well field and or prohibit us from expanding the well field, do you think?
It will not.
It will not, good. Do you know if, when they build eventually, I know they will build Williamson Boulevard, will they provide all of the stormwater protections to keep nasty street water from getting into that area?
Yes.
Around the well fields?
Yes.
Okay. And we have 5 there now? 5 wells?
We have 4 wells now.
4. We have plans for more?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to make an observation with the whole board here of our Utilities Commission, every single one of us. We're very, and Derek, great job, Joe coming up. We were very concerned about the placement of Williamson. If we didn't take control of it with our concept, then the county would have come over and said, here's where it's going, and everybody on this commission has followed through on that, and I'm very proud to see what I've just seen here today for the first time, actually. Thank you.
Encouraging.
Anybody else? Thank you. Go ahead, Joe.
A couple quick questions, Derek, if you could answer them, sort of devil's advocate questions. There's been folks asking if there's extra land, can it be sold? What about the main headquarters building for the commission on Canal Street? And if you could just address how you plan to look at those items.
Yeah, clearly, the presentation we made to the Utilities Commission, well, for talking's sake, it was a year ago. We've got lots of other utility components that need to go out on the 950 acres. Our contract with Pond and Company is going to look at, with or without a new headquarters building on this property. It's going to take a look at whether or not there is surplus. They are going to evaluate it for all of the other placement of tanks and pump stations and a new water plant. There's many other projects that will come forward that we don't have a contract on right now. Those are all future projects as we move forward in the next 10 years. Did that answer your question? I think. Okay.
Go ahead, Jack.
Can you speak to the dollars that are associated, because with these projects, we've kind of aligned that with our CIP plan, what we're looking at roughly?
We are anticipating that the construction of fleet services and field operations to the tune of about $6 million.
And then but the total plan?
The total plan, I think it was like 50 or 60 million in total.
It's a significant
Does that sound right, Chairman? I see you're nodding your head.
number.
It's,
That's right.
Yeah.
it is, the membrane plant, we're estimating that construction at 15 million alone. And that would be a water production plant for potable water. We've got some pretty significant projects that need to go out there.
Right.
And the reason this property is very valuable from my perspective is our main lines are already on this property. We've got a 24-inch water main that stubs next to this that feeds the Walmart and areas west to Venetian Bay. An ideal spot to put the pump station and the storage tanks for mixing the membrane water with our current plant, which is lime softening water.
And part of the study that we're doing is also a rate study to somehow figure out how to pay for some of this.
Well, we have a rate study that's separate.
Right, but we're moving them together because we're going to need to know how to
Yes.
pay for this. So with this these projects, we also have a funding strategy or study coming to figure that out also. So it's not just, by the way, we have 50, 60, it's actually the whole plan's north of 120 million. We don't just have the total CIP is significant, it's plus 100 million. We have, taking all that into consideration, how we're going to fund that, and so we're not in the position of, you know, having to commit to something that we haven't figured out how to pay for yet, but yet have something that we need to build immediately based on, you know, it needs to come now to make sure we have the funds available to pay for it. So there's a lot more to the dollar side of that also, so that's important.
Yeah, I believe our total capital plan over the next 10 years is 120 ballparkish.
Big number.
Any other? Go ahead, Mayor.
I just had a couple of things. I want to make sure I'm clear, and I appreciate Mr. Bunch just kind of jumping on this. So this property, we got how many hundreds of acres? The pond study is going to be making recommendations on, does it all stay UC property, or are there highest and best uses of maybe carving off parts to sell privately, and the UC is only going to need, you know, X% of that? Is that basically what the outcome of that will be, is driving that recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has that been contemplated as part of the funding strategy, or is that what we're still kind of going down that road?
Yes, it has been contemplated.
Okay. Gotcha.
We want to put we want to put everything on the table.
Yeah.
So we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So when we look to fund these projects, and you know, the dialogue in our meetings has been, if we could achieve everything we needed to achieve with everything that he just referred to, and there was 50, and I'm going to use a number.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And that had value of $15 million, say. I think it'd be irresponsible of us not to look at that, to go borrow $15 million, charge the ratepayer, versus peel a piece off, sell that property that the ratepayer owns, and pay down that debt. So, again, that's one of those discussions we'll have.
Yeah.
But at least every option needs to be available, so that when we get to the final decision, we've basically turned every stone over to figure out how to pay for this.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I may, just expand on those statements. If we have to get this part right. We can't get it wrong. It's just not an option for the Utilities Commission. If we make a mistake now, we could cost the ratepayers a significant sum of money. If we move one component down the road, for instance, 2 miles, maybe we sell this corner and we buy down the road. It's 2 miles, a 20-inch pipe at somewhere between $75 and $100 a foot for installation, plus DOT, plus. Long-term O&M of that extended pipeline is not a good idea. So we're taking a comprehensive look at this project. We don't want to sell off a piece for $10 million, but it costs us $15 million to put the pipe in the road, you know, down. It would just.
And I echo your concerns. I know it's the concerns of a lot of citizens. Probably everyone sitting up here is you know, making sure, you know, I always heard buy land, they're not making any more of it. Certainly, that's never more true than in Florida. You know, the ratepayers just passed an ordinance for a ballot measure for us to, you know, spend $15 million to buy land. So I certainly, if there's opportunity there and it's the right decision, you know, so be it. But I'm glad to see we're going through that careful planning process. Glad to hear on the rate planning. I'm no expert on this by any stretch, but I just read an article today that came through from city and county, and they were talking about the crumbling infrastructure. Preaching to the choir, I know, and they're talking about how, you know, water consumption is down. We're all doing the right thing. We're using more efficient, you know, washing machines and everything, so the water consumption is down. There's pressure to hold the rates down, and yet the same pipe is in the ground. At some point, we're gonna have to pay to replace it, and so how do you fund that? So it's a tough job for you all to manage. So thank you.
Go ahead, Mike.
2 questions. Compensation from the county for Williamson Boulevard, where will that monies go? What will you do with that?
We've only got a verbal agreement on an alignment. We have not started negotiation on any type of contract.
It's gonna
Well,
go
I
to $50
certainly
million
would like to see
of
you
that.
put it in this project.
Yeah.
The second thing is, the talk of selling off lands is not going to go easy in this town. Will you be showing what parcels you have in mind when you come in with a PUD change?
If it's recommended and the commission approves it, yes.
It's requested right now.
That's what the study's for.
That's what,
We don't,
Yeah.
we don't, we
We
don't
don't
have that
know.
answer. That's why we're paying a
Yeah.
consultant
Yeah.
to
Well, I'm sure you'll
to
have it
consult
done.
with us, right?
I'm sure you'll have it done.
I wish I had that
Before the
answer for you, I
rezoning,
just
yeah.
don't have it.
But everything will be obviously totally transparent.
Yes.
As Zach said, everything's gonna be laid on the table and every stone will be turned over,
Look at all the options.
every option.
I appreciate that, because that's one thing we've been striving for, to improve, and I think we've made great strides on that, and I'm sure you're going to also. And to, if there's any stage along the way in your plans where you think you have a decision that will affect the town, certainly come back to us before you have your final decisions made on that, and we can work with you on that. One example is the building downtown. Whether you decide whether it's financially important to keep that building or to sell that building, that has a really big effect on our downtown there. So anytime you have any preliminary thoughts on that, please share them. I'd appreciate it.
Just make a statement, Commissioner. So part of the reason bringing that on the table tonight is to get the dialogue started, but the city would have several points of contact along the way, including the planning and zoning approval. So
Yeah.
part of the reason for bringing it up here.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it any other way.
Bill, a comment, please?
Go ahead, Jay.
So I just want to reflect on that consternation of the ratepayer to lose lands which we perceive as recharge area. I had once looked at an old map and plans from the UC, and it did show that area as a possible recharge. I may be correct or not. But nonetheless, we just thought we'd throw that out on the table. We're concerned about having enough land to be pervious. So we hope that the UC keeps that in mind. I'm sure you are as well. But just a couple of quick questions. Did I see on one of the drawings a solar array for the future of solar panels? Is that right?
that is correct.
Okay, good. And I have one more question. You mentioned membrane. Are we already entertaining reverse osmosis that's in our future? Are we doing it now?
We're contemplating it. And let me just say one thing, Commissioner Sachs, is if there's a chance here for us to harvest water, whether it be stormwater or any type of water, we're going to do that. Okay, we've got a long-range approach to what we do, and if we have an opportunity to get a few extra buckets of reclaimed water to defer from the potable water, we'll do that.
Very good, thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Derek.
Thanks very much, Derek. You say it's the first guy, it's always the longest, most questions, so. I want to talk just sort of at a high level about joint septic and sewer planning strategy. I've had several meetings with the city manager, Pam Mercaccio, and Assistant Khalid Rashid, and we've sort of kicked around this concept to say, how would we generally approach projects like that? In the past, we've done the Route 44 project, we're finishing up Islesboro, and I think those have provided basis for lessons learned. And I guess what I'd like to propose tonight, and there's certainly room for questions, is that we commit to working together to developing approaches as to how you would formally address, we'll call them strategic opportunities like this going forward. And I think there are two potential types. One is where the Department of Health or Environment initiate a planning study. And those, I think it's just an opportunity. We'd say, okay, how do you approach those? And then secondly, from the Utilities Commission perspective, infill potential projects. So you're an area where you've already got dense housing, they're on water or septic. There may be a revenue opportunity that would bring down rates for the other customers if you built infill water and sewer. And I don't think we've really looked seriously at those in the past. So again, my proposal tonight is that we agree to work together to look at those as potential projects and solutions. Not that we need to figure it out tonight, but just to say that makes sense, or I've got concerns about this or that. But so let me step back for a moment there, and if the commissioners or elected officials have any questions on that point, feel free to mention them.
I think that's great. I mean, what you're saying is fantastic, and I think it's a lot of common sense to look back and when you're talking about the infill and who we have on septic and the goals of trying to get people off septic and working with the city in a collaborative effort to identify the goals in the city of where you can do the infill and get people off septic, and we can have a plan and you guys can have a plan and we can get those working together. I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's been a concern of mine because my zone is the donut hole. You know, I have all the county property that's in the middle of the city of New Smyrna Beach. And there's a lot of those people out there that don't have potable water. They're on wells and septic tanks. And, you know, we're building all around them, but there's never been a discussion about how do we connect all of those to the existing system. And I think I'm encouraged that that's something that we're going to look at in the future. You know, I'm very hopeful for that because, you know, I've talked to several people who, you know, their wells either have saltwater intrusion, you know, it's bad water. They're paying through the nose to have it filtered and treated before they can even drink it. Some can't even drink, you know, their well water. So, I mean, that's a concern that with the residents and future ratepayers that are actually in the center core of New Smyrna Beach. So hopefully with our annexation process going forward, you know, that's one of the areas that we can look at in the very near future, you know, to make a better quality of life.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Bunch, I was at the December meeting of FIND, and it was a great meeting. I don't know if there's anybody there. I'm trying to remember. But FIND is the, you know, 9 counties, and their biggest concern, coming back to you, Mr. Bunch, one of their biggest concerns is just what you said, water quality. They got lots of grant money available. I listened and talked to the chairman. Then for, I don't know, unknown reason, I went last Friday, Mr. Sachs, Commissioner Sachs, you and I saw you and we stood back in the back of the Indian River Lagoon. And by the way, our county councilman, Deb Denny's, got elected president of that, the Indian River Lagoon. Those 2 government agencies are prepared to help local municipalities get people off their sewer lines, i.e., I would love to see, and I think this board would, and every one of us, get Silver Sands on sewer. And I think that's possible if we make that a goal and we all work together. I know it's possible. We just got to put our heads together, locate the money, and show those nice people down there, because I've talked to several of them. But I feel real good about what I'm seeing regarding Silver Sands. I said, I know a couple other of us have that goal too. But the water quality of the Indian River Lagoon has gone, there's 5 counties on that one, there's 9 counties on FIND. They are all about what we're talking about here, backing in, getting them off. So I'd like to see us get together and follow up on it somehow.
May I tag on to
Go ahead.
Commissioner Davenport's
Grab a mic.
comment?
That mic.
Sorry. Thank you. The concern of the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program was water quality, of course, and there are steps that we can take here. They are not inexpensive steps. And it was a simple thing. It was a concrete box, a baffle box with material that would filter the water to a better standard than maybe even the Department of Environmental Protection. So I'm hoping I put a bug in you guys' ears. I think you are the administration that would help us along with that, and we would certainly be seeking funds from the DEP, the county, Water Management District to attain that goal. I know your job is water management as well as the management district and DEP, so maybe we could all partner on getting these these baffle boxes at the end of our outfalls. It would help water quality at the end. So please consider that.
Are you talking about
Stormwater.
stormwater?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Stormwater, okay.
Is that your
What-
domain or?
No,
That would be the city,
stormwater
but-
belongs to you.
City.
We have baffle boxes installed. Commissioner, we did a project years ago. There are baffle boxes that have been installed on Riverside, and that was also installed on Central Beach when that $10 million project was done there in the last 5 years. So we've done a lot as a city to improve water quality. I think there's much more that our other sister cities can do that came out in the Indian River Lagoon project, but I think you were one of the leaders there on those baffle boxes and their installment.
Yeah, because it's,
It's not your domain.
no, well, it isn't our domain,
No.
but the sewage treatment plant, is it 10 years? Are we approaching 10 years, Derek, that we have not had any water into the lagoon?
9 years, 7 months.
We're approaching 10 years. Thank you.
And that's laudable. We appreciate that greatly.
Any other questions from up here for septic and getting together?
Oh, yeah, I do have one question. I've seen one development recently, although it hasn't shown up around here, that's in our outlying areas on Martin's Dairy Road. It's a 25-home subdivision, planned for septic. Do you require any dry lines to be put in case your services go out that far?
I'm going to invite Derek Wainscott back up to talk about the engineering community and how we interface with those on plan developments like the one you're addressing.
So we could add the reuse lines in it also.
Isn't that outside your
What a difficult question.
It's a yes or a no.
No, we do not require developers that are that far away from our infrastructure to install dry line systems.
Should we?
Has, has that been under consideration? Has anyone ever asked for that?
Sure, Tom.
For the record, I'm Tom Cloud. I'm their general counsel, and I'll be very brief. But dry lines is a very good question. I'm not sure that beyond what the state statute provides in Chapter 381, that the Utilities Commission has actually addressed a policy about that. But that is certainly something that we could work with the city as a part of what Joe mentioned earlier about developing policies. It's not just for infill, but there may be other areas. And I think that it would behoove the Utilities Commission to work with this commission to try and come up with logical policies for extensions so that we fill out our service area.
Thank you very much, because there
Yes,
will
sir.
be a time when other development will catch up to it. And we really don't want to, reinstall at that point. As long as the lines can maintain their stability and be usable, I think that would be a very positive step.
Okay, so we will move forward working with the city as we agreed on and just discussed in terms of those strategic areas of development. We had a lot of interest and questions about sustainable water supplies, and to that end, we've had several of our team, including Ms. Ellen Fisher, who's going to come up and speak, develop a presentation. It's pretty high level, and I think it tells a quick story about the water supply for the foreseeable future. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fisher.
Good evening. Thanks, Joe. My name is Ellen Fisher, and I'm the Communications Coordinator for the Utilities Commission. Some of you I haven't met before, but I do know some of the faces, so I'm glad to see you. I'm here tonight because there has been significant interest in the topic of our city's sustainable water supply. So we'll go ahead and get started. Is this? That's it. You all have this on your computer in front of you? Great. So this first slide is an overview of the number of water resources customers we serve and a change in those numbers over the past year. From this, you can see that water and wastewater are averaging a 2% increase, while reuse is at 13%. It is important to note here that these numbers are consistent with our planning projections. Even with the approved new construction projects yet to be metered, we expect these growth percentages for water and wastewater to remain about the same. The change in demand for reuse water is expected to decrease as the total number of connections increases. Joe had mentioned that this is very high level, so I'm just going to give you a little background for those who may not know, and I know you all do. The fresh water source we currently use to produce our potable water comes from the upper Floridan aquifer. This is an ancient underground reserve of some of the purest water on Earth. And it's filtered, as you can see through this diagram, through multiple layers of sand, clay, shell, and limestone. And it is so pure that it is potable even in its natural form. So that this amazing resource lasts in perpetuity, in 1972, the state of Florida created water management districts, in part to oversee the withdrawal of water from the aquifer. Here in Volusia County, our water supply from the aquifer is managed by the St. John's River Water Management District. St. John's, for short, sets our consumptive use permit, CUP for short, specifying how much water we can draw from the aquifer. Our current CUP, approved in 2000 and renewed in 2015, allows us to draw an average maximum of 8.33 million gallons a day from the aquifer. We have 23 current wells in operation in 4 distinct well fields. Our water production can be rotated judiciously among all these wells, which helps us avoid saltwater intrusion that occurs when you draw too much water from a single well at one time. Our average daily production of potable water is 5.2 million gallons a day. I did a little summary slide here so you'd see some of the points. The upper Floridan's finite supply is not a new concern. In 2005, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection began the Water Protection and Sustainability Program that called for water authorities to develop alternative water sources. Fortunately, the Utilities Commission had been a proactive partner in that endeavor for several years prior to that program launch. Starting in the late 1990s, we developed our reclaimed water system, which you've mentioned, to supply highly treated wastewater for irrigation needs. The use of reclaimed water for irrigation significantly reduces the demand on potable water. We also augmented our water conservation education through programs such as our free low-flow showerhead exchange that started in 2008. And this year, we'll be hosting our 8th annual Waterwise Garden Fair, which is our primary outdoor water conservation education initiative. And our educational efforts have been successful. We have consistently lowered our per capita water use. This is the property that's been shown in Derek's slides. In conjunction with these efforts, the Utilities Commission developed the plans for an alternative water supply using the Western Utility Complex property. In 1996, the UC acquired, just some background here, by eminent domain, approximately 1,000 acres west of 95, north of 44. And the impetus for this was to move our wastewater treatment plant off the river. It used to be, on the North Causeway. We built the plant in 97 and 98 and have retained most of the property for future utility use. Our alternative water supply plan, approved by St. John's in 2015, is to draw brackish water from the lower Floridan aquifer and treat it with a reverse osmosis membrane system, which Derek has referred to. I hope you can see this. The upper point there is the alternative water supply test well And then the lower point there is the proposed location for our booster pump station and our membrane plant. Our plan is to draw brackish water from the lower Floridan aquifer through 4 deep wells. This water will be treated at an expandable 2 million gallon a day reverse osmosis, low pressure membrane plant to be constructed on the Western Utility property. The water produced will then be blended with water from our existing potable wells to restore some of the mineral content and sent to a booster pumping station built nearby. This pumping station will send the potable water out for consumption in the already booming Western service territory. Treatment of the brackish water will produce a byproduct of brine, which will be sent to a new 200-acre reuse pond, where it will be diluted and returned to our water reclamation facility to become reclaimed water for irrigation, which is a key component of our conservation initiative. Here's a fun fact. We don't call it a wastewater treatment plant anymore because no water is wasted. All water is reclaimed for reuse, for irrigation. So it is now called a water reclamation facility. You will probably hear some hybrid of the names because some people still call it a pollution plant. I gotta be honest. It's just, and back in the day, that's what it was. So, but the technical correct term for us, having been off the river for 9 years and 7 months specifically, is the water reclamation facility. So here's the question. When will we surpass our current cup allowance and need additional water, and where will it come from? The important point to recognize here is that we're ready. Our water resources and engineering staff is constantly monitoring our capacities for conditions that may trigger a need for change. We send annual updates to St. John's on our alternative water supply plan, and the UC's 10-year master plan provides for timelines and funding. Internal projections indicate we will have sufficient cup allowance through 2035, as indicated statewide in the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's 2017 Regional Water Supply Planning Annual Report. But if our conditions do trigger the need for additional water, the first step we will take is to request an increase in our allocation from the Upper Floridan. If there are limitations on what we can pull in addition to our current cup allowance, we have this alternative water supply plan primed for commencement, and we will continue our conservation initiatives and expansion of our reclaimed water system to new developments. Summary of those points. And I am happy to entertain any questions and may need to refer to Derek.
Mr. Chairman, a question?
Go ahead.
Do we have alternatives westward in the city for areas to draw water, or is that it?
West of this property,
Yes.
some of our well fields are
Oh, that's right, some on 44.
really pretty far out, and so there's our current potable supply. The 4 wells that we refer to in this are on the UC Western Utility Complex, and they will be going lower into the lower Floridan. We have 1 test well there now.
And I assume you've done projections with future growth, population growth, that we can meet those needs, probably including reclaimed water for potable water?
Reclaimed is a little tighter than potable, actually, because we don't have the capacity for it at this point, but it is part of a 200-acre reuse pond expansion. So the sooner we can get everything out and moving, the more supply we will have. But we do use every drop we bring back in and send back out. So there has been a couple times in my tenure that we have done some reuse watering restrictions.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. Ellen, thank you very much for
Thanks,
this
Jason.
report. I just wanted to make sure, did I understand that you say that we'll reach the 8.3 million cup allowance by roughly 2035?
We project that that current cup allowance will see us through 2035.
Okay.
So that's really the threshold that everybody is looking at, although it feels like when I say it, next year's 2020, that's only 15 years. But that's the threshold that the state's looking at. That's sort of the timetable that they have set. And the state, as I mentioned, I don't know if you picked up on that, but the state has done in their 2017 alternative water supply planning study, they feel pretty confident because of our rainfall and recharge that we statewide are going to have sufficient water from our current potable supply through 2035.
Okay, so yeah, I don't want to get into the technical aspect of it, but it certainly seems that 15 years away, if we're only using roughly 5.2 of the 8.33 allowance, we're not going to have that significant of an increase in growth locally that would put us in trouble at 2035. That seems to be more, correct me if I'm wrong,
No,
the
you're-
state kind of is kind of just urging us by
That's
that
correct.
date
Yes.
to get it done, and is in the reverse osmosis is producing 2 million gallons a day?
That is an expandable plant, but that's what we project. That is what we had some studies done, had a study done. And it looks like that's what we can achieve at this point, but that's not to say it's the limit.
Okay, well, that's great. I mean, I want to thank you guys for being so informative. This is a lot of information
It
that
is.
I've been looking for. And,
Oh,
you know,
good.
and the most important thing is that everybody sitting up here right now and listening at home is actually getting the facts as opposed to,
It is. It's a scary thought. We're going to run out of water. No,
Right.
no, we're not.
well, and that message now is we're setting the tone in the community, and I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
Because almost daily I run into somebody who feels they have the facts and they were not consistent with the things that I would hear. So I deeply appreciate your presentation and informing us on exactly where we're at.
Absolutely.
And it looks good. This reverse osmosis program. looks
I-
like it's
in
gonna
that
be
in that
tremendous.
state study, 28, I think 28% of the alternative water supply projects are reverse osmosis. So we're not, we're not on the bleeding edge of that. We're with probably pretty good company on doing something that works. So should we need to go down that road, hopefully we will not anytime soon. But if we have to, we will be ready.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So basically, you don't have like a firm date when you would like to start constructing that plant?
Well, if we don't need to spend the money, we really don't want to.
Correct.
So, no, to answer your question, we do not have a firm date. We're just gonna watch and monitor supply and demand and just see how rainfall has a lot to do with it, as you can imagine. See how drought, everything, the building out of the city and all that goes and see where it is. But no, we have no date on spending a whole bunch of money.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, I want to build on Commissioner McGurk's comments. We at the UC have continued to have conversations in this room and with developers and so on and so forth that we have problems with the water or our water capability and capacity at this point in time as well as future growth. I want to congratulate Ellen and Dwayne, and Dave Hoover, sitting behind Dwayne back there. Job well done, and I think we have a good story to tell everybody in the community with facts.
Correct.
Based on facts, and thank you.
Yes, and I apologize, I was listening and somebody brought up, the importance of renewing infrastructure. You did, Mayor. And that is, that's something that we will have to look at. It is, we've had our water system in place for quite a few years. So, that is something that we might have to look at. But as far as supply, we feel comfortable with that.
And you teed it up so nicely, I'm just going to jump in. This is focused on supply, and I too echo the comments. I appreciate that now we have, facts to operate from. And I don't want to lose sight that this is an alternative water supply. I mean, it's great, but it's Plan B. It's not Plan A.
Right.
We're kind of running through Plan A, and I love it that we got a Plan B, but let's just, not lose not lose sight that it is the alternative water supply. But let's talk about the demand side, and I know that probably shifts more to the city's burden as we look at future demands on water, you know, as new developments come in, or as what we require from folks. I know you guys have some great initiatives. You mentioned the shower heads. You know, new development by its very nature is just much more efficient in the demands on power and water. But are there things, other ideas that we can be bringing forward as a city? I'm thinking landscaping requirements, things like that. We obviously are trying to beef that up. But other requirements that progressive cities are doing to work on the demand side of this equation, and anything we can consider. We don't have to flush all that out now, but I guess just presenting that
Sure.
this commission is very open to hearing that, and anything we can do to help on the demand side and help control from the city standpoint. I think not only is the commission receptive, you know, we have a community that is so involved in our environment, and it doesn't matter
Right.
from what political party or background you come from. Everyone I meet in New Smyrna is an environmentalist of some degree. So I think we've got the right environment,
I agree.
climate, if you will, in the city to be progressive in this.
One of the less popular solutions or ideas of what you're referring to is policing of the water restrictions, the watering restrictions. So there is a little bit of confusion where that falls, and St. John sets the watering restrictions. It's not the utilities or the city. St. John sets the watering restrictions, and they change with the daylight savings, and if we go to year-round summertime, God knows what that'll be. But they change in every November and March. So a lot of times at the commission, we get phone calls about customers, residents saying, my neighbor is watering. And I don't know where the city stands on being able to police that sort of thing, but it would go, and it may go a long way. And a lot of people just don't know, and they just need that education, and they come in and we tell them. But you know, if that there is a lack of enforcement, and I don't know if that falls on the city. I know it doesn't fall on the UC, and it's a county thing, but some of the other municipalities may have some watering enforcement.
Is that for reclaimed or for?
Both. Both.
That is for potable. St. John's does not regulate our reclaim system.
No limits on that.
They don't. They already sold it to. They already give it to us once, and all we're doing is being smart and taking it back and reusing it.
Okay.
So that, yeah, just the potable. The reuse, we have had to do restrictions on that for ourselves, and Dave is able to control that through supply and pressures.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was going to, because I know Edgewater, when I lived there, they would just, there were times you turn on the reclaimed, it just didn't work, so.
And
that's
yeah,
way
and you can't
enforce
use it
that.
if it's not there.
Yeah, okay.
Just so everybody understands, we process somewhere around 2/3 of all the potable water when it goes out. When we get the potable water back in the sewage system, we only get 2/3 of the amount that we put out in potable water that comes back as reclaimed water.
Reuse, reclaim, all of
Reuse,
it.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I need to change my speech, reuse.
No, they're both acceptable.
Just so we only get 2/3 of what we put out that comes back to us. It lost, somebody washed their car, whatever, watered their lawn, so, go ahead, Ellen.
Well, I was going to say that one of the great planning concepts for the Western Utility Complex is the 200-acre reuse pond, where we will be sending the brine should we need to, should it be produced as part of the alternative water supply plan. But that 200-acre reuse pond will have a huge, significant impact on providing reclaimed water for our western areas, the new development. And it will also provide an excellent recharge area for the aquifer.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, may I take the opportunity to just ask a few questions about our current infrastructure?
Go.
You are partners with our hydrant restoration and recuperation plan, correct? And I think we've.
This is where I get to say, Derek?
Thanks.
Thank you.
We keep Derek in exercise.
I see.
We do his exercise. Thank you, Ellen.
So I'm sorry, I pronounced your name wrong, Mr. Wainwright. was hoping for reassurance.
Well,
I did, Mr. Wayne Scott?
Derek Wayne
It is Wayne
Scott.
Scott. Sorry.
It's all right.
That we are going forward, restoring some of those hydrants that look pretty beat up.
Yeah, we have a bid opening on March 6th. And then that contract will go before the Utilities Commission. March 6th, we can probably get it there for April. And then contract documents take a couple months, so we'll be looking at starting that project in the summertime.
Thank you. And I know there's a sign on Saxon Avenue announcing the end time for the repairs to the lift station and joining infrastructure. Do you have a time certain? Because the folks down the way are having a hard time getting out.
I don't have a time certain, but we are preparing to pave that road in the next week or so. I believe we're hashing out one or two details with the county. They are not acting nicely with us right now on that project. And we are working that out. I saw an email just before I came over here that their milling machine has been repaired and will be returning to the site, so that's a good sign.
We're hoping they'll be good partners. Thank you. And there are some power poles I've noticed that have been X'd out. I guess they're slated for removal. They're marked with a red
I'm
X.
going to defer that to Mr. Mike Mines.
Different part of the Utility Commission. Thank you, sir.
Mayor's Commissioner, Mike Mines, the Electric Department Director. Those X poles, they are, some of them are slated for repair or replacement, and some of them they've been X'd and the plans have changed and they may never be replaced. It depends where it's located at, and if you give me a list, I can probably get it back to you. And yeah, we've got that on the books to replace, or the plans have been changed and we're not going to do it.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to address a few residents that have complained about them still being there.
Yes, sir. There's probably a lot of them that are red X set next to brand new poles too, and those
Yes, exactly.
got the cable and phones on them. So that's up to them to get off before we can get those out of there.
Okay. Thanks for your help there.
Before you leave, I mean, that came up last night at the meeting, was that sometimes there's 2 and 3 poles where they've been damaged, you know, and you guys have moved your stuff, but yet the other utilities, cable and phone, haven't done anything. Is there anything that we can do to kind of push that along a little quicker?
AT&T's the worst one. I can usually get a hold of Spectrum, and they'll come pretty quick for me. But AT&T could, it takes quite a while. They may be there for years.
Okay.
So if y'all could get a hold of AT&T, if you know the location, it may help. I actually tell the customers to call because it seems like it works quicker when they do it.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to circle back and thank Mrs. Fisher, Dave Hoover, and Derek Wayne Scott for preparing the alternative water source and water sustainability presentation. One thing I do want to say, because there's been a lot of interest around this, we're going to develop some external communications materials on this topic as well. As I think the conversation here indicated, it's not so well understood, and it's a good opportunity for us to get some information out in the public. So Ellen's going to be working with some folks to develop some customer communications on this topic, brochures and things like that next month or so. Okay, let's go back to the agenda. The next item, which is solar, LED, street light, electric vehicle charging. So these are just kind of some, not random topics, but topics that either on the city side or at the commission we've highlighted as things that we want to look at in the next year as potential things to embrace. I think for LED street lighting, it would be pretty easy for us to work with the city to develop migration plans from incandescent to LED lighting. I've been part of it elsewhere, other cities, and it's a pretty easy transition. You just have to work out the charging mechanism. The consumption's less, the fixtures generally cost a little more, but at the end of the day, I think long-term it saves the city and other folks that use street lighting dollars, and also reduces energy consumption, so it's good for a lot of reasons. So If there's any questions on that topic, I take them, but if not, it's just a commitment to work with the city to move forward some discussions in that light. And it looks like Commissioner Kirk may have a question.
Yeah,
Thank you, I'll be brief. You know, I was driving down, and I think it I might have been Edgewater, but I could be wrong. We have the institutional yellow lighting on a lot of the utility poles. And a lot of the communities I go through, and even I think Edgewater, had more of the white light or a soft white light. And I didn't know why we seem to still look like an industrial area. Is it needed? Can we change that kind of bulb? And also I can say that as a business owner, I know I have one of these lights above next to my business, and I pay a certain amount, as I recall, many years ago, to have it up there. But as a business owner, I would certainly be willing to pay to have that transitioned over to not only LED, but also a softer white light. And I didn't know how that may work into the plans or what the possibility.
Yeah, most of the, we'll call it legacy lighting, was chosen by whoever the customer was, whether it was business owner, city, developer, with the county or city. But going forward, we can shift the product towards LEDs. Again, it's just a matter of dedicating some resources to it and then figuring out what the charging looks like. But again, at the end of the day, I would expect consumption charging is going to be less. Cost of the fixtures may be a little higher initially, but most bigger cities either have already started or talking about plans to go in this direction as well.
Certainly along US 1, you know, as a business owner on US 1, I'd be willing to pay that cost to go in there and start transitioning that out, make US 1 even just a little more
Okay.
aesthetically pleasing. Thank
No,
you.
I'm with you. The old sodium vapor, yellow, orangish lighting, I personally find kind of irritating to the eyes.
Very industrial, institutional
Yeah.
type.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you. In its day, it was efficient and it lasts a long time. So, you know, again, this would be driven by the customer or city's desire to change out inventory.
So when we vote, Utilities Commission to charge and everything, and they start calling, we're gonna refer them to Commissioner.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you, that's what we appoint you for.
And we are listening, every one of us.
The next topic, electrical vehicle charging. I know the city's done some things, again, similar here, just looking for agreement in principle to move forward with the city to talk about some additional options in this space. Nothing decided tonight or no specific recommendations, but just try to work out an approach for the city involving electrical vehicle charging. Questions? Okay. Told you the first one gets more questions, Derek. So let's talk a little bit about project scheduling. In my first couple of weeks here, back in November, some folks came to me and were talking about projects we had underway that interrupted flow. At that time, I think a job on Saxon Drive was mentioned, and I've seen approaches taken elsewhere where for specific times of the year, mostly beachfront communities like this one, where you try to avoid impacting road traffic, lane closures, and heavy utility work. So I asked Derek Wainscott to draft a template that we could discuss with the city and counties as well, Volusia County most specifically, that could improve and reduce the impact on traffic during those times. So I'm going to ask Derek to step up, if you could, just talk to the approach and folks that we'll need to talk to bring it towards implementation.
Quite simply, it's when is the best time to work on under a road? When's the best time to close a road? There's never a good time, right? And we kind of ran into a big headache on Saxon Boulevard last summer. We ran into a problem with the project and it got delayed. And we come to find out that our residents on Beachside, they want that road open during the summer. Funny story is the county shut us down over the Christmas holidays on that project, which was just creating more and more delays. And they actually threatened to shut us down and make us do it in the summer because it's their road and they don't want it during the holidays. So I took all of this information over the past couple of years, my conversations with my colleagues here at the city and my colleagues at the county, and what we've come up with is kind of, if we have a major project, let's target the other times that aren't highlighted on this calendar. Beachside on the summer, you know, let's not do projects beachside on the summer. That was a complete nightmare. My friends were calling me, yelling at me, because they were trying to get off the beach and they hit a road closure and had to divert up to A1A, and then of course they were coming northbound, making the left turn. It was a big nightmare, and there was some pretty colorful language directed my way. But then again, we're also looking, what do we got? We got Bike Week, we got Spring Break, we've got Race Week, the Christmas holidays, the Thanksgiving holidays. You know, all of these things are kind of highlighted as a tool for us to use. Let's target our bids so that we're under construction outside of these highlighted areas, so that we don't impact our customers and our residents so much. That was the premise of it. We're going to take it to the county, my colleagues at the city, we're going to, like, hey, this is what we're targeting. There's going to be a project where we can't meet this target. But those projects are kind of rather large projects or an emergency, but the focus is we're going to try to avoid these time periods so that we don't have high traffic volume time periods when people are avoiding Saxon Drive closed again. Any questions?
Go ahead.
Sorry. You probably already know Mr. Bunch had been in contact with residents. I believe it's near 4th or 5th and Riverside. They've been trying to mitigate vehicles diverting from the detour from utilities work on that road, and they've ended up driving on people's lawns. So they've resorted to putting fences, elephant turds, you name it, all kinds of objects to keep cars from. Mr. Bunch would know.
What was that term, sir?
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
actually, for lack of a better term, pyramids, round domes of
Sure.
concrete, elephant turds. And so we had a problem with code enforcement because they were actually violating, putting these impediments in the right-of-way to keep people from diverting that traffic and driving onto their properties. Could we please somehow have the UC get with the code enforcement department to make sure that people are in compliance and that they don't get cited needlessly? They're trying to comply, but at the same time, while the work is ongoing, the diverted traffic ends up going onto very narrow streets, and their properties are impacted negatively. So I know Mr. Bunch has tried to.
And I would just say the problem is not with code enforcement. Chief takes high exception to that.
I'm sure.
Code enforcement's doing their job.
Yes, they
Those little elephant turds need to come out of the right of way.
Yes.
And what we need to ask the UC to do is to get with the contractor to park the vehicles for the workers on the abandoned part right now of Riverside. That's what needs to happen. So the code enforcement action is moving forward because the license agreement is required for anything added in city right of way. So I just wanted to make that point, and we've told Joe that the contractor's got enough room there between 5th and 4th. Anybody coming to work that job should be able to park on Riverside because it's closed, not in the right-of-way along 4th or 5th. And in fact, what's happening, unfortunately, elephant turds are expanding on the streets along Magnolia, and they're not legal. They're not legal and need to come out of there.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
I'm being from Arkansas, I've heard a lot of different terminology.
I love it. I love it.
This elephant turd is throwing me a curveball, but I will say, I live a block away,
Yes, Budget.
and I've heard colorful language too, Derek. I mean, very colorful. And Mr. Bunch, you've been a total, I reach out to you every time I hear it and see it or something's on, what's going on. But, and I've noticed that, and so I'm looking forward to that getting together. But I have a question, Derek. If we could get this out more in the public, how much longer is that gonna go on? That we all hear that question, so we can divert these elephant turds somewhere else. And then, one other thing, I'm driving up Magnolia the other day, thank God I was in my golf cart, and I see a police officer with a gun. I go by him and said, damn, that's the chief. So I turn back around, go all the way around the block and go, Chief, yeah. Hey, buddy. I said, what are you doing? He's out. He said, I'm police and I'm doing what I love doing. I said, that's awesome. I want to congratulate him, by the way, everybody. I got so tickled. But so that's a big deal, y'all know, on that Magnolia Street, too. But how much longer, my question?
That's a sore spot.
Not going down Magnolia any.
No, well, approximately. If we don't sink a bulldozer
We're not sinking a
or
bulldozer.
Traco, you know,
No, we're looking at the mid to late April to finish that project up and get that road back open.
we should communicate that better.
It's on our Facebook. I was down there today. The site's a mess. Unfortunately, right now it has to be a mess because of the construction that they're doing. But as soon as they're done sinking that wet well in place, my project manager is going to be on them to clean up that site because it's a mess. Admittedly so. But unfortunately, my opinion on that is it has to be a mess because of the nature of the work that they're doing. As soon as they're done with the nature of the work that they're doing, they can certainly take time to clean it up. As far as contractors parking on people's private yards, that's an easy fix. My inspectors and my project managers can take care of that. Yeah, you move it or I will, right? So I think we can address some of those current concerns. I was down at the site today and the contractors were parked in the road closed area, so hopefully that's not still a problem. Any other concerns that I neglected to?
And that is a big, if you will, sump pump or the pump. What specifically? I forgot right now. What is that again?
Lift Station 11.
Lift station. Sorry. Okay.
Lift Station 11. And it is the replacement project for Lift Station 11, which is what we call a can station. Dave Hoover's guys call it a death trap. And they are, basically they put a steel can with all of the equipment that runs the pumps below grade in the water table. And you have to have two people to go and maintain it. You've got to have one person on top while the other person goes in, all of that sensory equipment. And we've got a program in place to get rid of all of these canned stations. Lift Station 4 in Saxon Boulevard is one of them. We've got all of the utilities tied in on Saxon Drive now, and we're dismantling another can station, which is Lift Station 34, which is at the intersection of Saxon and Division. So we're systematically taking these stations out of our network, except the problem with them is they're all in critical areas. Lift Station 11 is a critical area, Lift Station 4 is a critical area. But they're all, if you look, they're right next to the river, because guess what? Sewage used to go straight to the river. That's where the sewer was deep, so that's where these stations are. So that's part of the process that we're working on.
Thanks for your efforts.
I just had one quick question for you. Going back to areas where the city and the UC, where there's overlap or potential for overlap or coordination, again, back to this article I happened to read today, that said, one of the great opportunities was anytime there's a road project going on, that's the chance to tackle maybe the infrastructure under that. Maybe it gets brought forward a year or two, but you save 20 or 30 or 40% because we're already doing that. I'm sure we already have that level of coordination between the two. I'm very hopeful, but if not, I think it's certainly an opportunity. Anytime we're going to open up something, hopefully we're letting you all know that you can evaluate that general area and see if there's an opportunity. So,
Mr. Mayor, we do that.
That's good.
So some examples are the Islesboro project. Another example is the Central Beach project. Our component of each of those projects was somewhere in the ballpark of $3 million. The city's was I'm just throwing out a number, about $10 million for the roadway construction, stormwater improvement. When the city has a project of that size, I assure you, I don't want to pay for the pavement.
Right. Excellent.
And I don't want to answer to this board about why when new pavement just went in and all of a sudden I got to tear it up to put in a sewer. I think I'd be replaced.
Got it. Good to hear.
It's worked very well with the two entities.
Good.
Anybody else up here? Go ahead. Thank you again, Derek.
Thanks very much. So let's see. We have a brief presentation that I'm going to, well, you have it up there now. Thanks very much. Utility Commission of the Future. So just briefly, I presented this last month at the January Utility Commission meeting for approval, and it was accepted. If you could move to the next slide. Essentially, and this is a little tough to read, so I'm going to have to reach to my version. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Most of our strategy was developed back in the original 2006 Capital Improvement Plan development. A lot of that was driven by compliance in the water industry, the need to have and present 10-year plans. And it's mostly steeped in just meeting the capacity requirements. But when you're running a business, whether it's water and or electric in our case, a lot of your investments have to do with improving the business operations efficiency, better meeting your customer needs. And I would say in the last 5 years, we've probably seen more changes in technology introduced to the utility industry than we have arguably in the last 30. So things like we're talking about LED lighting, electric vehicles, net energy metering, solar. We need to develop a strategy that makes best use of our timing of investment, both for the technology as well as the systems. So in the utility business, you've got a lot, and you also have expensive systems. And if we don't spend that money in the right time and in the right order, we're not going to make best use of the money. We're not going to deliver the functionality to the community and the customers that we need to. So if you could flip to the next slide, please. So we're over the next year with the commission and staff, some of the directors you saw tonight and others, we're going to be working to develop our next generation vision and strategy and core values. We started the discussion with the commissioners, as I mentioned, in January. Between now and March, we're going to be working on putting together a draft vision and strategy with the folks, the directors. In our March strategy planning meeting with the commissioners, we're going to review, get feedback, get input from them, and agree on the things that we're going to work on in the next year. So, and then over the next year, we're going to be assessing. We're not committing to any spending, but for potential future technology and system investments, putting some planning dollars that'll facilitate a discussion late in the year, early next year, to say, if you want to do all of these things, this is the approximate cost. This is how it would play out time-wise from a most efficient deployment of that money standpoint. Now, what do we think we want to do? And what benefits would it bring to customers in what year? 0 to 5, 5 to 10? How does it all fit together? So as on the prior slide, I said our current strategy is largely steeped in capacity. We're going to continue to make sure that those capacity requirements are met, but we're also looking forward to the future benefits and customer experience that we think the community would like to see. And in my first 3 months, I've met with a lot of folks. There's a lot of interest in looking at how we can better incorporate some of the technologies into our system than maybe we have to date, including some of the things we talked about earlier, like LED lighting, net energy metering, electrical vehicles, and solar energy as well. So we would put together the business case that says this is how much we think it would cost if you wanted to do these things. This is the recommended order. And then when we get commission approval and review on that, let's say early next year, we would then start the planning for the future projects that would support that strategy. So it's about a year plus or minus work. We're going to leverage the directors that are here. In some cases, we're going to need to get some consultant support. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a plan that would make sense from a timing and investment standpoint, and not one that we cobbled together just internally that may not get those things in the right order had we not been thoughtful about a strategy. So let me pause there and ask if there are any questions. That was a lot in a couple minutes. If you could, flip to the slides that had a lot of blue
Joe?
hours on it.
Wait a minute.
I'd like to make the observation of our strategy with everybody, and I keep reinforcing this when I see the city commissioners and city manager down here, the external relationship improvement community partnership. I feel so good sitting on this board that over the years, there's not been this communication. When you came on, Mr. Bunch, that was one of our long conversations. But I really love discuss our goals with our commissioners who appoint us to increase our visibility of the UC and partner with our community and everybody else. Thank you. Love that statement there.
Thank you. Yeah, that was on the first slide. I intended to come back to it, but thanks for mentioning that, Commissioner Davenport. So we're getting back in. We want to become more visible in the community. I don't know how it's been. I just came here in the beginning of November, but we're reinstituting employee giving campaign with United Way. That hasn't been around for years. We're going to work on some sort of approach regarding volunteerism so that we get coordinated events with your commission employees, giving back to the community, and some level of contributions as well. So again, haven't got that figured out yet, but we'll be working on them in the months to come and seeking approval from the commissioners at some point.
I love that. That's really good.
Well, we're a big member in the community, and I think it's incumbent on us to be a participant and give back.
That's great.
Any additional questions? Okay, so I think we've covered, from an agenda standpoint, all that we planned tonight. We got about 35 minutes left, not that we need all that time. But I want to circle back to where we started. A lot of folks up here, the city manager, assistant manager, we have all talked about tonight building a better relationship between the city and the commission. And I just want to recommit to that, being new in my role. We got a very competent staff that you saw here tonight, and others that didn't get an opportunity to speak. But I'll tell you, they're a very talented team, and they want to be part of everything we talked about, and will be. So with your support, we're going to start moving these things forward, and then partnering with the city to improve and then sustain the relationship that we talked about. So Commissioner Davenport, Commissioner Biedenbach, Chairman, I'm going to turn it back to you and the Mayor for any other comments or questions.
Yeah, thank you all very much. I screwed up early. We were supposed to have public comments. Is there anybody in the public that wants to come up after they've heard the presentation and make a comment or ask a question? Come on.
Quickly, could we have a bridge perhaps between the Utilities Commission and the city government? We're looking at reviewing our land development regulations, and they may be able to give additional insights into way to reduce water consumption, improve electricity consumption, whether it's solar panels for community centers or putting low-flow toilets into our building codes. But it might be a nice bridge between the two groups. And when we're looking at the money in from developing, could we look at the cost of the reverse osmosis water delivery? My understanding is that should we not keep our consumption within our allotment, that we are going to be paying a lot. And I know Derek knows, or Dave, one of them knows the exact incremental cost for getting a gallon of RO water rather than a gallon of straight aquifer water. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, first of all, this is so nice to, my name's Glenn Storich.
Thank
There
you.
you go. This is so nice to hear everyone working together, because this is important. You've got a lot of different issues you've got to work together on. One of the things I should point out is, this is something Randy mentioned, you've got big pockets of areas without water or or septic or sewer. And it's a major problem. And I will tell you that when I was doing the AutoZone, for instance, I was working closely with the neighborhood back there. Many of them became friends. The one issue they wanted to resolved was they'd like to have water and sewer in that area. And you've got these pockets all over the place. It's not just Silver Sands. I mean, we've got Bethune Beach covered, and we did that with a tax district. But you've got other areas that you need to do that because you also have the lagoon itself. And if you don't have, if you have septic tanks in these areas, that area leaches out hundreds of feet into the lagoon. So those are things that we need to deal with in the future. I also really recommend that you focus on working together on state areas like roadway right-of-ways, State Road 44. The city has a goal of trying to create a beautiful entrance and gateway into this area. It's a good goal. The problem is it conflicts sometimes with how the utilities want to run their lines and what happens when they run their lines and then take out the vegetation. There's ways to do both. I want you to look at some of the examples. Port Orange has done it. Hilton Head has done it. There's other areas that have been able to accomplish both goals. And we were at one point working with the Utilities Commission, and we greatly appreciate that, where the developer themselves, the landowner themselves, gave a hold harmless to the Utilities Commission and actually put the vegetation in and agreed to maintain that vegetation, even if the UC had to come out and rip it out to fix a line. There are things that can be done where we work together to accomplish both goals. So that's something I'd like to see happen as well. And again, with this attitude I'm hearing tonight, great. So.
Thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Anybody, there was somebody else that was coming forward? We missed one? There.
Let's go.
Randy Herman. Again, I would reiterate what has been said. This is a great meeting, and I think, as just speaking as a citizen and being part of a lot of different groups, there has been a lot of misunderstandings, I think, in the community, and this is great to see this foray into opening communications. And I learned a lot tonight, information that we need, that citizens need, and certainly I know that the community is now seeing via video what elephant turds really are. I think that's probably enhanced our community greatly. But I never heard that term, actually. But I would just like to build on what Mr. Storch said, and that is the easements and the desecration of trees and shrubbery. To me, Saxon Boulevard, which we've lived with for a long time, has created a lot of ill will, and as people turn down the street and have seen the amount of trees and damage that would seem to have done. Maybe it was all necessary, but it seems like there would have been a better way to do that. And I think these kinds of conversations between the city and between the UC and all, obviously, other entities as well play in, because as you think about our system, it's quite complicated with different entities. So the more we can talk across entities, I think you're going to have a lot of backing from citizens. And the only last thing I would say is assumptions. I think, as we think to the future, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around, but, when you are charged with the responsibility for the future of our community and thinking ahead 30, 50, 60 years, I hope we continue to question our assumptions. The assumption that we need Williamson Boulevard. I think we should really think about that. Do we really need it? What are the implications of it? Do we really have the capacity to increase growth? And is there a point past which we can't sustain it? I mean, those are, important questions. A lot of them aren't difficult to answer, but I feel like the direction that this workshop is taking us is to really tackle those tough questions while we meet the current concerns. And so the long-term strategy that Mr. Bunch was talking about really sounds exciting, and I like the fact there'll be an interaction between the city and the Utilities Commission in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else out there? No other questions? How about up here? Randy, buddy? Go ahead.
I just want to say thank everybody again. I know you've heard it 2 or 3 times, but when I got on this board, and I've been a resident of this community 45 years. And over my 45 years, I've seen a lot of things happen up here back in the old days. And working together is what it's all about, and I'm so, so excited. I keep reiterating, I'm excited about sitting on this board, giving my time. I was riding up here and going, what am I doing? And I appreciate everybody's time that y'all give, and the UC people that come out here tonight, leaving your families at home, and the city and everybody that's done this. It's good to know that you're giving your time and everybody's pulling together, going for the right reasons. And I really feel that sincerely, every single body here and in this room. Thank you.
Okay, it's been very positive, and I hope it will tend to stop the rumors from flying about what's going on and what's not going on. While listening to the presentation earlier, there was one thing I wanted to ask about that I forgot. You had mentioned the solar array that you're going to be working on. Do you have any idea when? And I have a specific reason as to why, but.
I believe it's in the 10-year time period.
So it's not in the near future?
No.
Okay. The reason I'd asked is the city is undertaking a study about putting solar arrays on a lot of our buildings. And if you were going to be doing this more quickly, your process was a little sooner, we could probably spend more money by adding to your array than trying to retrofit our buildings. But if it's not 10 years, if we're gonna wait for it, we're not waiting for it.
I wouldn't wait for it. It's a timing for us. It's the cost of solar panels, the cost of the batteries that you really need to couple with the panels to optimize what you're getting out of the sun. So we're still a waiting game. We're not Tesla.
Well, I can understand that because technology is moving real quick in this area, and in a few more years we'll probably be able to do it much more efficiently and economically.
So not out of the question. We are actually in very early stages of discussing like a consortium investment where we're not outlaying capital. For whatever reason, we didn't opt to take part into a joint effort with Florida Municipal Power Association last year. I don't know if the dollars were right or not, but they're starting discussions again. Cost of this technology continues to go down. We may have the opportunity to work with you in terms of some sort of allocation. Can't commit to anything specifically right now, but Commissioner Colati, what I would commit to is just making sure we're starting discussion with the city as that conversation moves forward. And this is pretty recent conversations. In fact, I just mentioned it to Commissioner Biedenbach Thursday when we met. So very early, but from the dollars and cents I've seen, it looks very promising.
Thank you.
Lee?
Mr. Commissioner and Mr. Mayor, great meeting. I think it's one of the best we've ever had. We ought to consider doing this 2 or 3 times a year, every 4 or 5 months or something, or when necessary or when needed. 7 years on the commission here, for me, I've never felt the energy and the positive attitude about how we're going to go forward. And I think it has a lot to do with Joe coming in here with us. I want to, again, congratulate Joe and welcome Joe. And the UC is continuing to grow and wanting to compete and work well with the city. And going down the road, the processes feel real good and comfortable. One thing I want to just mention we need to be thinking about is our financial planning long-term. We got a lot of things going on with a lot of dollars, build on Commissioner Holcomb's comments earlier tonight. An integrated financial plan is going to be necessary to pull everything off we want to pull off in a very good competitive way. But great meeting. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to the UC team for being here.
Jason?
Thank you, Commissioner. I also would like to thank you, Joe Bunch, and the staff that showed up tonight. in the 6 years or so that I've been involved in these meetings, I can also say that I have never had such a positive meeting, and I'm very encouraged by what I see for the future. And I also want to point out there's been a lot of discussion from Mr. Bunch talking about how the UC is going to work better together, but that's a two-way street. So I want you all to know, staff to know, that I'm your commissioner. You know, we're here to help you. Everybody can, this is a group effort to make sure that we're all working together up on this dais, and the staff's working together. And so I just want to extend my appreciation for tonight and how great this meeting has been, and everyone coming out and saying your thing. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Sang.
Thanks to the residents for their patience and resilience. That's one of the key words for our city as we go forward. And I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart that we, as a two-commission body, are coming together to provide the best services in Central Florida to everybody. So thank you to my colleagues very much, and to the residents again for coming out and for engaging and staying with us. Thanks.
Jack.
Yeah, I wanted to, I thought about this for a couple of days because I started this room on the Economic Development Board, identifying the top 10 needs for the city back in 2009 when we were coming out of the economic recession. So 4 years doing that, or 5 years, I forget what it was. It's been about 8 or 9 years now. So I have a unique perspective and a look at the benefits of these two entities working together. I've obviously developed a few properties here in town. I've backfilled on US 1, a CRA project. And some of these, the benefits to a ratepayer, a taxpayer who's the same person, in the willingness to work. I've had projects, I'm not going to name which ones they were, but there's 3 of them. One was done, it was a fist fight, and one was done with compromise. And I can promise you, if you're willing to compromise, you're going to end up with a better end result than you would. And I can tell you that based on my projects that I've done. And being able to compromise is being able to be open, to be able to listen to maybe the other side's perspective and why they might need what they need. And that's important because, again, I sit here with a unique perspective of, developments of $30 million plus. That wasn't getting caught up between these two entities is not fun, and it's not cheap. So you get one side that wants to work and the other side doesn't want to work with you, and then the two sides kind of don't want to talk, and next thing you know, you're in the middle of all that. I've had that process work really well, and I've had that process not work so well. I choose the process where the compromise was sought. And moving forward, too, is information. As we all sit here, and I truly believe each one of you up here means the best for the community in your own certain way that you see it, but your intentions are well sought. And mine are, too. And when people come to us and they say, hey, I heard we're going to run out of water, I've heard this. As a commissioner, I don't want to sound like I'm not informed. I want to take care of the consumer, or the person's concerns, because a lot of people, when you start talking about running out of water, they get pretty distraught, and you don't want them to leave the conversation feeling any worse off than when they got there. So I'd reach out to our staff, and one thing I can tell you about our new CEO is that I don't think I've called him during business hours. I think I've called him on holidays, I've called him on Sundays, and I've called him at night, and he's answered every time. And I promise you I'll get better at that, Joe, but I don't know that that's but I do appreciate he listens and he explains, and when a ratepayer or a taxpayer comes to me and asks me a question, I'll go back and I'll say, okay, this is the question, this is the concern, explain it to me, and then they'll explain it to me, and then I'll say, okay, explain it to me so I can explain it to somebody, because it is very complex. I think tonight, for me, I hope you all got a lot out of that, because I've been in the same meetings you've been in, and it was pretty informative. in all of our meetings that we've had moving forward, as you see that plan, there's a lot of great stuff coming. I mean, that's the fun stuff, building it, developing it, giving the community the best resources. I said my goal is to be the best at water, sewer, and electric that we can possibly be. Give our employees, our leaders, the resources, the assets that are necessary to support them to do the job. And again, understand that they're not going to get it right all the time. And to set that bar is an unacceptable standard, and we have to support them as much when they get it wrong as when they get it right. And hopefully we can help them through communication get it right more than they get it wrong. And, you know, I think we've got a great staff at the UC. I've worked with the city. I think the city's got a great staff. And again, I have a unique perspective because I've worked with just about every department in that both offer. So I just say, as we move forward, you know, let's everybody drop our guards a little bit. Let's listen a little better than we do when we talk. And when we communicate, let's kind of stay in our own lanes. If it's a city issue and somebody asks me, I'm going to reach out to one of you and have you answer on behalf of the city. And I would hope that if someone comes to you and asks something of us, you would reciprocate the same goodwill. Because the best information we can put in our community is the right information. And I think tonight there was a lot of clarity in what we talked about with the water, and I hope you all feel better about it moving forward. But I just hope moving forward that this goodwill that we've seen here tonight is continued as we leave here and we actually go do our job. So thanks again for everybody. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm very optimistic and excited moving forward, more than I've been in the last 3 years serving on the board. And it has nothing to do with the former people. It's just the projects and things we've got coming moving forward. You guys' ambition to do these things. So, like I said, let's be more open, willing to listen, and stay in our own lane, so to say. And I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks.
Mayor.
Yeah, good comments. I'd echo, I think Buddy and Jason talked about, 9 years, 7 years, 100 days, and this is the best joint UC meeting that I've ever been in. I can definitely say
40 years.
40 years. All right, 40 years. Sorry. You had something on one of your slides that I wanted to just highlight and provide a counterpoint to. You said the employees are proud to be a part of the UC NSB, and I know several employees that work in various different departments on a personal level. We hang out on the weekends, play basketball together type stuff, and that couldn't be more true. I mean, they absolutely are. And I'd say the flip side of that is, I think I speak for the community, we're also proud to have them represent us, and we're proud of what you do every day. You provide excellent service, and never more does that shine than after the Matthews and the Irmas and the hurricanes, when they're there for us. They're giving up time with their family. They're putting their lives at risk. And then not only do they do it for us in our community, but then when duty calls in Mexico City Beach or Panama, and they, again, abandon time with their friends and family, drive into danger instead of staying away from, we finally miss a hurricane, and these guys and gals still go and give their time and energy to help the community that was impacted. So, boy, we are just really proud of the UC in many ways and what you guys do every day, and every employee, and that's up and down the ranks. And so very excited about the direction we're headed. I echo all the comments here. The unique thing is, as I've read more about this, and if you really think about it, I'm a business guy, I'm a finance guy by trade. This is one of the few industries that's really almost expected to be working against itself on a continual basis. Success for you is implementing solar, and yet that's going to drive down consumption. You send out shower heads. Like if you were charged with selling fewer cars, and that's how you measure success. It's a really weird business model. I mean,
We've achieved that.
Yeah, right. yeah. Mission accomplished. Huh? Right. So it's an interesting environment that you operate in, and I hope that we as a community can appreciate that and understand that, again, although we may pump fewer water, less water to a house, all of the other cost of getting that water to the house did not change. And so there's got to be some give and take in that formula. Same on the power side. You still got to have somebody maintaining those lines, even if there's a solar panel powering it. So it's just an interesting dynamic. I'm glad to know I leave tonight very confident that we've got the right leadership in place and the right vision coming together around that to navigate that really interesting business climate dynamic that you all operate in. So if there's anything we can do as a city, I mean, I think you've heard that overwhelmingly tonight. I certainly think there are opportunities we can work together. I agree with the Commissioner. I think, compromise, I will say there are some things that I don't think any of us would compromise on. We talked a lot earlier meeting about the environment. That's something everyone in New Smyrna is it's important to everyone in the city. So there are some things we can't compromise, but certainly when it comes to working together, meeting in the middle on some things, more than willing to have those conversations. I appreciate that tonight we just got some things out on the table and had hey, let's just get it all out there. And I hope we can continue to do that. And I echo the comments. If there's things that, that you need from us, send people our way. If there's things we need from you, because at the end of the day, if you poll the average citizen, I'm convinced I'm going to do this one time. If you poll the average citizen on Canal Street, I'm going to bet they don't even understand this dynamic. They just look at it all as the city. And so that's the level of service they expect. And I know we can provide it working, we can provide it best working together. So thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thanks again to staff for being here and spending this evening with us. It's been lovely. So thank you.
And with that, we are adjourned.